Now, this is a story that was written by a transsexual that speaks the truth and the real issues surrounding the transsexual agenda that has been ongoing a while now. The reality is the system are not interested in the well-being of transsexuals no more than they are interested in gay, lesbian or black people. All have been used in an agenda-based programs to divert public attention from the real issues and promoting a non-family, non-gender-based humanity with the long-term goal of another trans word called transhumanism. So this is the report written by a transsexual that outlines the real problems, and kudos to this person for seeing through the bullshit. Transsexuals like me look on in horror, she said. I think it's a she anyway. As a whole industry springs up to provide paraphernalia for children identifying as the opposite sex. In what sort of world does a parent buy a fake penis for their preschool-aged daughter? Preschool. And referrals of children to gender identity clinics have surged in recent years, and the impact on teenage girls is well documented, but there is no lower age limit. Now, last week, parents Matthew and Clara announced on British TV that their daughter came out as transgender at age 2. Apparently telling the family, I am not a girl, I think I am a boy. But they are not alone. In 2018-2019, the Gender Identity Development Service, which is the part of the NHS, England's national service aimed at under-18s, reported 31 referrals of children under 5. 31 children under the age of 5 asking for gender realignment. The report goes on, what must go through the minds of parents who diagnose their children as transsexual and set in motion the ball of cross-sex identification with potential mutilation and sterilisation down the line. What it means for a 2-year-old to be a transsexual, the legally defined term for someone who identifies as the opposite sex, is unclear, but a whole industry is opened up to cater to their needs, or perhaps their parents' needs? ? Trans Kids, according to its website, is a space dedicated to providing young folks with books and resources. While prepubescent girls may have no need for the chest binder on sale, the Tuck Buddies underwear is modelled on a very young boy who wants to be a girl. And Trans Kids explains that the inside hiding layer is a few sizes smaller and not attached to the sides, only the front and back, and so it offers a snug place for kiddos' packages to be more contained. Really. And this company appears to be well established in peddling these disturbing garments and worse. 4 years ago, it came to the attention of the Daily Mirror with its teeny tiny silicone packers for girls under the age of 5 who believe they are boys, and the attention to detail was sickening. These silicone packers for girls who want to be boys came in a range of colours from cashew to chocolate, and also styled circumcised or uncircumcised. Now the reporter went on and says, who buys fake silicone penises for their preschool daughter and why? However, where there is a demand there will be people eager to sell into it. Now, a social media storm erupted over the weekend when Canadian journalist Anna Slatz exposed a company selling knitted packers designed for very young children. Stitchbug Studio is marketing its Bitty Bug soft packer for $6. And according to the sales pitch, silicone prosthetics do not come in sizes appropriate for smaller bodies and can create unsightly and age-inappropriate shapes. The Bitty Bug is lightweight, comfortable, low maintenance, and can be tossed into the washing machine. Quite unappropriate terminology there. Oh dear. Now, Slat said these items were indicative of everything that is wrong with contemporary gender ideology. Children's bodies have unfortunately become battlegrounds in the culture war, she said. Hormones, top surgeries, binders, puberty blockers, and now knitted penises, all offered in the name of alleviating some distress a child has about their body. Nobody is allowed to question the origin of this distress or propose an alternative solution for it. This horrific situation arises, of course, from transgender ideology that demands we all have innate gender identity that alone determines whether we are men, women, or members of some other category recently invented by the LGBTQ brigade. And it said this movement is getting further and further away from the rights of lesbians and gays. Meanwhile, transsexuals look on at me in horror at what looks like a recruitment drive amongst the very young. And this is far more than a craze. And Slat added these prosthetics do nothing but uncritically reinforce a child's physical self-hatred. The fact that they are made for bodies so tiny, the product was demonstrated on a teddy bear, shows definitively that gender ideology has become irredeemable in its delusion. No toddler should have the physical awareness to have anxiety about their genitals, and if a toddler did, I can speak as someone with education in youth justice that the anxiety should absolutely trigger alarm bells in the heads of caretakers. Now, since Slatz's tweet went viral, generating thousands of comments, the company appears to have engaged in a hasty damage limitation exercise. The teddy bear captured in Slat's tweets is gone, and we are now told that the Bitty Bug is no longer intended for infants and toddlers, but for transgender youth. I don't believe a word of that. She said, I teach teenagers, and the thought that youngsters of that age group would find any use for tiny knitted prosthetics is risible. Whatever Stitchbug might be trying to have us believe, the target group is preschool children, some perhaps still in diapers. For children whose parents have been caught up in the evangelistic zeal of this movement, the future may be grim, she said. Never mind the claims of astonishingly high suicide and suicidal ideation rates that the manufacturers of these tiny knitted penises repeat. And it says, it's horrendous. You know? My comments on that is children need to be free to be children, not some project of their parents. And children are victims of this ideology, and they are being irredeemably harmed. And it's not good enough for politicians and policymakers to sit on the fence and hope it goes away. This trans activist movement operates with a sense of entitlement and also impunity, and it needs to be stopped. The consequences of those standing in its way are profound. Our reputations are being attacked and careers have been blighted, but we speak up because we care about children. 5-year-old girls do not need knitted prosthetics in their pants. If these images of inch-long knitted penises do not bring the world to its senses, what will? And I agree with that 100%. But 30 years ago, this is my piece now, the parents pushing for their child of 2 to 5 to be a different sex than born would likely have lost their children due to what would be described as mental abuse. Not nowadays, though, because far too many parents are ruining children with their banal and insane ways via materialistic ideals, overtly sexual ideals, hello, cheerleaders, propensity to fix everything with a pill, technological gadget, or a food item, rather than teaching their children good values, morals, and manners. And instead what we have are many parents are living their life and failures through their children, pushing them into things they never managed to achieve, not for 1 second thinking about whether the child has a choice of their own to make. These are helicopter parents, hovering around their child like a predator, destroying the child's own free will and personal responsibility because the parents know better. Well, look around you, because it tells a much different story. I don't know any child who would turn around at age 2 to 5 and say, I'm a different sex. Children of that age shouldn't be aware they do have different genitals, never mind asking to swap them out. And this is the reign of the half-witted, drug-addled, liberal parents and their propensity to allow all agendas and programs given to them. And if the New Age Pleiadians ever came down, please take these people and their Hebrew Anunnaki agenda makers as far away from this planet as possible. They are a blight on humanity and the precious children. We don't need no vaccinations. We don't need no thought control. No dark satanics on our planet. Hey, liberals, leave those kids alone.